Welcome back to Further Solutions Academy. On this video, I'll be walking you through on basic rules on differentiation. I think on the first video I've explained what is called the definition, which is introduction part, and first principle. Now, this time around, I will just be working on the basic rule of differentiation. It's a calculus. I think you have done that anyway. Now, outside of this video, the first derivative, and the second one, second derivative. Now, when we talk about the basic rule, note, basic rule, we just have, for instance, we have y equals to ax raised to power n. Now, this is y equals to, I can as well write it as f of x equals to what? Ax raised to power n. Now, when we talk about total derivative, I can say that what? Dy dx can be equals to gradient of a given function. It can also be slope. It can also be y prime. It can also be f of x prime. Depends on how I want it. I can also call it change in in y, all over change in what? In x. Please take note of that. All these things can be represented. Take note of that. Now, having something like this, y equals to this. Now, what you just need to do, y equals to what? Ax n. Now, my dy, dx will just be equals to, I will bring down the power n multiplied by a s raised to power n minus 1. That is all. That is all. Now, that will now take me to y equals to 2x squared, for instance. Now, dy, or we can call it gradient, anyhow you call it, it will be equals to, bring down the power 2 bracket of 2, x raised to power 2 minus 1, which it will be equals to 4x raised to power 1. Take note of that. Now, if the story change, now we have y equals to s raised to only x. Now, I want to find the what? Find dy dx, or gradient. Now, what to do here is that, can you see that there is a problem here? There is no s. I can as well write this as s equals to 2s raised to power 0. Please take note of that, because I know that anything raised to power 0 equals to what? 1. Okay, I can answer dy dx equals to 0 bracket of 2 s raised to power 0 minus 1. Now, can you see that this is 0 multiply everything become 0? That is why wherever you multiply, you differentiate any given constant, you have always on 0. That is what you need to understand. Okay? Now, another thing you need to understand, that you are having y equals to 2x, find dn all over dy all over the n. This is another very technical part that or anybody can ask you. The y all over the n. This time around is not the x. Now, what you just need to do, I can write this as well as 2x raised to power 1, n raised to power 0. Please take note of that. Now, I'm working with respect of n, not x. It means dy all over the x, all over the n, it will be equals to 0, 2x raised to power 1 bracket, and n is 0 raised to power 1. Can you see? That is all about it. Now, before you lay your hand on any question, look at the respects. Very, very important. Which everything become is 0. Take note of that very well. Now, I have some problems here, which from JAM and other parts of exams. Now, look at these problems. I think let's try to play around with them. Now, I have y equals to, find dy dx of the following function. Now, look at these functions. Let me use the word functions. I have y equals to s5. I have y equals to 14x squared, and I have y equals to x, and I have y equals to minus 12x raised to the power 6, and I have y equals to 3x raised to the power 4. Now, these are problems. Let me see the visual. Maybe it can be, because it's getting dark here. Okay, I think it can be seen. Okay, now, when I have something like this, how do you solve it? That is what you need to know. These are problems from somewhere, and from somewhere. Now, don't forget, the question stated that find the dy, the x of the following functions. Now, solution to them. What you just need to do, y equals to 3x raised to the power 5. dy dx will be equals to, I will bring down the 5 bracket of 3 x raised to the power 5 minus 1, which implies 15x raised to the power 4. That is my answer. That is my answer for that. Don't forget, you bring down the power and you minus 1 from the power. Now, look at this one. Y equals to 14x squared. Now, the y, the x will be equals to 2 bracket of 14 x raised to the power 2 minus 1, which I will be having 28 x raised to the power 1. That is my answer. Now, I have this also, y equals to x. Now, my dy, the x will be equals to, break down 1, x raised to the power 1 minus 1, which is equals to 0. It means the y, the x equals to what? 1. My answer becomes 1, because x raised to the power 0 is equals to 1. Now, look at this also, y equals to minus 12x raised to the power 6. Now, I don't need to stress myself. Dy, the x will be equals to minus 12 bracket 6 x raised to the power 6 minus 1. That is my answer. And 12 times 6, I think I'll be having my 12 times 6, which we all know that is going to be 72. I'll be having minus 72 x raised to the power 5. That is my answer. Permit me to rub this part. Can you see it's very, very simple? I won't rub the outline because I'm working along with the outline. Now, look at the last one. I think, yes, I have my y equals to 3x raised to the power 4. Now, if I'm having something like this, what I just need to do is that I'll be having dy dx equals to 3 bracket of 4 x raised to the power 2 minus 1, which I will be having, my answer become 12 x raised to the power 3. Can you see that is my answer? Now, I have some cases also here which it will be helpful to see how it's being solved. Okay, look at this particular problem. Permit me to rub the board because of our time. Okay, now let's try to solve this question. We are from my head can jam, and let's see. Now you have to find the dividends of the given functions 1, 2, 3, 4. At least this will really help us to. And now you are looking for, you look at this. I can write this as well as s is power 1 all over 2. Take note of that. Dy dx will be equals to 1 all over 2. Take note, I'm bringing the power s raised to power 1 all over 2 minus 5. Now, which I will be having, this will be as well as 1 all over 2 x raised to power minus 1 all over 2, which I can write it as dy dx will be equals to 1 divided by 2 x raised to power 1 all over 2, which also the same thing as what? 1 divided by 2 root of x. Take note of that. That is my answer for that. Now, look at this. Y can also be written as x squared minus x raised to power minus 1. Take note of this. Don't forget the techniques. This is polynomial, which is the y, the x will be equals to 2x2 minus 1 minus 1. I bring down the power, x raised to power minus 1 minus 1. Please take note of that. Which I will be having 2x plus x raised to the power minus 2, which my dy dx will be equals to 2x plus 1 all over x squared. That is all. 2x minus 1. Now, look at this also. It's a very simple one, which I just need to do this. Now, I can write this as well as y equals to 3x cubed plus x squared plus x raised to the power is 0. Take note of that. Now, I can answer that what dy dx can be equals to, bring down the power x3 minus 1 plus bring down the power x2 minus 1 plus bring down the power bracket of 6 x is 0. Now, can you see, I can answer that what dy dx can be equals to 9x squared plus 2x plus 0, which is, we have nothing. That is my answer. Now, can you see how it's being done? Look at this also. Y equals to 2x bracket of x squared plus 3. I can as well write this as, I don't need to be begging the question. Now, this can be 2x raised to the power 3 plus 6x squared. 6x. Now, I will just have dy dx equals to 3 bracket of 2 x raised to the power 3 minus 1 plus 6 bracket of 1 x raised to the power 1 minus 1. Now, my answer will now be equals to dy dx equals to, I have 6 x squared plus what? 6. That is my final answer. Now, can you see how to handle dy dx, which is known as basic rules of differential calculus? Now, I need to show, let me work on the first principle for better, second degree now. These are all our first degree. Now, if the story I'm talking about second degree, it means you can do it, it can be second, third, fourth, anyhow you want to do it. Depends on what you need to work on. Now, for instance, I'm now talking about second derivative. Now, look at this second derivative, or can be more. For instance, if I have y equals to 3x cubed plus 2x squared plus 4, find d square y all over. Now, I can write it as y prime prime, anyhow you call it. You can call it y prime prime, depends on your material. I can write that, or I can mention the word second derivative. I can also mention the word second derivative. Okay, now what you just need to do, solution to this thing, you have to differentiate 2 times dy dx, which is known as y prime, it to be equals to, I have 9x squared, please at this point you know what I'm saying, plus 4x, that is my first derivative. Now I will now go by d square y all over dx squared. Can also be written as y prime prime. It can also be what? This will be 18x plus 4. That is my second derivative. That is second. Yeah. During the application part of differential calculus, we do more of that, which you will really understand. Now, I have another one here that you can have. Y equals to 3x squared plus 2 all over x. You are finding d square y all over the x squared. And another one is here also, which it will really help us. Y equals to 2x squared plus 3x plus 1. You are looking for finding d squared y all over x squared. Now look at this particular one. It can be asked in any question, or any place. Whenever you have something like this, let me see the visual. Maybe it's clearer. Okay, it's clearer. Now I can solve this by saying that. Don't forget, I'm running towards second degree. I can write my y as well as 3x squared plus 2x raised to the power minus 1. Take note of that, very important. Now, my first derivative, which is dy dx, which let me be getting yourself familiar to, so this y prime can be equals to 6x plus 2 bracket of minus 1 x raised to the power minus 1 minus 1. Take note of that. which I'll be having dy, the x, which is also called y prime, can be 6x minus 2 all over what? X squared. Take note of that. Minus times plus minus. Which I will now move on to y, my d squared y, which can also be written as y prime prime. It can be equals to, differentiate this, I have 6. Okay, I can now say that, okay, before we even talk about that, I can return this to, let me just return something to better understand it so that you'll be able to see. My y prime will be equals to 6x minus 2x raised to the power. Now, my y prime prime now, which also known as d squared y all over x squared, can be equals to 6. I have minus 2 bracket 2x and minus 2 minus 1. Take note of that, which I'll be having, yes, it means my y prime prime, which is known as second derivative, 6 plus 4x raised to the power minus 3, which I will be having y prime prime equals to 6 plus 4 all over x raised to the power 3. That is all. Now, look at this also. That is the final answer. Take note of that. Now, look at this also is very simple. Now, what you just need to do is that I will bring out my y equals to 2x squared plus 3x plus 1. Now, this is very straightforward. dy, dx, which is also known as y prime, can be equals to what? 4x plus 3. Now, that is my first thing you do. The second one, which is this square y, can also be y prime prime equals to, I'll be having 4, which is my answer become 4. That is my final answer. I think by now you should be able to handle any problem on this part. I will be stopping here. Don't forget you are home with Further Solutions Academy. Once again, thanks for watching.